Hello and welcome back to the Dante in a Year podcast. My name is Danny Fitzpatrick. Let's continue with Dante's Paradiso, Canto 9. From then when your Charles, lovely Clemenza, had cleared my mind, he named for me the perfidies that his seed would yet receive. But he said, "Be silent and let the years move, so that I am unable to speak if not to say that just pain will come after your enemies." And already the life of that sacred light was turning back to the sun that replenishes it as that good that is such to all things. Ah, you deluded souls and impious creatures who twist your hearts from what's so well made, directing your temples into emptiness. And behold, another of those splendors made its way toward me, and its wish to please me was signaled in its clarified flame. The eyes of Beatrice, which held fixed over me as before, confirmed assurance of her dear assent to my desire. "Ah, permit my will swift recompense, blessed spirit," I said, "and give me a proof that what I think can be reflected in you." At which the light yet new to me, out of the depth from which it first had sung, followed as one who rejoices doing good. In that part of the depraved, Italic land that sits between the Rialto and the fonts of the Brenta and the Piave, a hill lifts itself, and not very high, there where already a flaming brand's descended, and set a grand assault upon the land. It and I were born of one root. I was called Kunitsa, and I gleam here because I was conquered by the light of this star. But I happily indulge myself in the same reason for my state, and it doesn't amaze me, which may appear a bit bold to your ignorance. Of this beloved and lucent jewel that's nearest me in our heaven, great fame remains, and before it's died, this 100th year will come around 5 times. See whether man should strive to be excellent, so that the first life might relinquish another. And the present throng that the Tagliamento and the Adige enclose think nothing of this, nor for being beaten do they yet repent. But soon it shall be that Padua will change to the pallor of the water that bathes Vicenza, since its people persist in their cruelty. And where the Sile accompanies the Cagnano, one so signals his rule and goes with head high, that already the web's woven to catch him. Feltro still will weep the defection of her impious shepherd, whose abasement will be such that none have been imprisoned for its equal. The wooden tub would be large, that could hold so much Ferrare's blood, and weary the one who weighed it ounce by ounce, that which their courteous prelate will give to show himself a partisan, and such gifts will conform to the life of the place. Above are the mirrors, the ones you call thrones, from whom divine judgment radiates upon us, such that it seems good to us to speak such things. Here she fell silent, and seemed in her semblance to have turned to other things, as she set herself back upon the wheel where she'd been. The other happiness, already known to me as a special thing, made itself in my sight like a fine gem in which the sun strikes. For there above, splendor is acquired in rejoicing, just as laughter here, but below the outer shadow darkens as the mind is sad. God sees all, and your seeing is so inlaid in his, I said, blessed spirit, that no wish whatsoever can be hidden from you. So why does your voice, which ever amuses heaven with the song of these pious fires that make their cowls of 6 wings, not satisfy my desires? I'd not still attend your question, if I were in me as you are in you. The broadest sea where water spreads, his words then commenced, from that sea that encircles the earth, comes so far against the sun between its discordant shores that it makes a meridian there where the horizon had usually been. I was on the shore of that vale between the Ebro and the Macra, which for a brief way parts the Genovese from the Tuscan. As with one sunrise and one sunset sit Bougie and the land from which I was, which made its port warm once with its blood. Those people who knew my name called me Falco, and this heaven is imprinted of me as I was made by it. For Bellus's daughter burned no more, grieving both Sacius and Creusa, than I did, until my hair came to fade, nor that Rhodopean who was deluded by Demophon, nor Alcides, when he enclosed Iole in his heart. But here we don't repent, but rather laugh, not for our fault, which doesn't return to mind, but for the power that ordained and provided. Here we marvel once more at the art that adorns such affection, and discern in it the good through which the world above turns that below. But that you might bear with you all those wishes which were born in this sphere fulfilled, I must still proceed. You wish to know who is in this light which so scintillates here beside me, as a ray of sun in mere water. Know now that there within its is tranquil Rahab, and having been conjoined to an order, our highest grade is sealed by her. To this heaven, in which the shadow that your world casts is pierced, she was assured before the other souls in the triumph of Christ. Truly it was good to leave her as a palm in the one heaven of the high victory he acquired with the one in the other palm, since she favored the first glory of Joshua in the Holy Land below, which touches the Pope's memory but a bit. Your city, which was planted by him who first turned his shoulders to his Maker, and from whom comes such invidious pain, produces and scatters the ill-starred flower that swayed the sheep and the lambs, since it's made a wolf of the shepherd. For the gospel and the great doctors lie derelict, and only the decretals are studied, just as appears in their margins. The Pope and the cardinals attend to this. Their thoughts won't go to Nazareth, there where Gabriel spread his wings. But the Vatican and the other elected parts of Rome, which are the cemetery to the militia that followed Peter, will at once be free of the adultery. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Dante in a Year podcast. See you next time for Dante's Paradiso, Canto 10.